Tuchel's anger with Ziyech experiment pays off, 4 things spotted during Chelsea vs Aston Villa. The Blues advanced to the 4th round of the Carabao Cup after overcoming Aston Villa on penalties at Stamford Bridge. Thomas Tuchel was on edge throughout Chelsea's Carabao Cup win over Aston Villa. A successful midfield experiment. It was clear from Thomas Tuchel's comments in his pre-match press conference that the Chelsea side was going to be shaken up against Aston Villa. There were 10 changes in total, with Kepa Arrizabalaga the only player keeping his place in the side. Unsurprisingly, as a result, the Blues' first half performance was disjointed. Attacks lacked purpose or broke down too easily, while there were gaps in the backline that were exploited by the visitors, who would have gone in at the interval ahead were it not for poor finishing. Chelsea were far better after the break, though. There was more energy to the game, and that resulted in Timo Werner heading home the opener. Moments later, the German should have had a second as he poked wide from an attack started by Ruben Loftus-Cheek. The academy graduate, who looked sharp throughout pre-season, was handed his first start of the campaign as a 6 in Chelsea's midfield. It isn't a completely alien role to Loftus-Cheek, but one he has not played for several years. Not that you'd have known that from his display. A composed presence throughout, Loftus-Cheek showcased both sides of his game. There was the powerful surges forward and quick feet that made him a standout prospect for several years, but there was also a resoluteness to his defensive work, highlighted with a crunching challenge that resulted in Werner's missed opportunity. Loftus-Cheek appears to be on the fringes of Tuchel's squad. Yet this display proves he can play a role for the Blues this term. History repeats itself. A little more than a week ago, Chelsea were playing under the lights at Stamford Bridge and were struggling to open up a well-drilled defense. That night the deadlock was finally broken when a cross delivered to the back post was headed home from close range by Chelsea's frontman. That story was repeated this evening against Aston Villa, although the characters were different. Instead of Cesar Azpilicueta crossing from the right channel, it was Reece James. And the England international got his delivery bang on the money. There was no Romelu Lukaku on this occasion, though. Instead, it was Werner who coolly planted his header beyond Jed Steer. What wasn't repeated, however, was Chelsea holding out at the other end. Cameron Archer equalized shortly after the hour mark in a fashion that has become incredibly rare. An almost unique feat. Aston Villa's equalizer was one of genuine quality, although the defending could have been better on Chelsea's part. Matty Cash was given far too much space by Malang Sarr down the Blues' right, and he whipped a cross over the head of Trevoh Chalobah to the back post. There was Archer. The 19-year-old had earlier in the contest missed 2 presentable chances. He wasn't going to do the same again and planted his header into the top corner. Kepa had no chance. The Villa Academy graduate celebrated in front of the travelling fans. It was a big moment for the young forward and a rare one for Chelsea. Since Tuchel's arrival, the Blues' defence has rarely been breached. And hardly at all in the air. The only headed goal conceded under the German came via Christian Benteke for Crystal Palace last term. Tuchel's anger with Ziyech. There were very few attacks of genuine quality from Chelsea in the opening 45 minutes. Too often, the ball was moved slowly from side to side and Villa were able to comfortably sit back and defend the penalty area. Yet early into the contest at Stamford Bridge, there was an opportunity for Tuchel's side to use the pace of Timo Werner behind the visitors' backline. The ball was played into the feet of Hakim Ziyech, who shifted it onto his left foot inside the center circle. The Moroccan star looked up and spotted the movement of Werner, who was on the shoulder of Axel Tuanzebe. It wasn't an easy pass to complete, but such is the quality of Ziyech, there was an expectation the 28-year-old would drop his pass into the path of Werner. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Ziyech put too much on his ball forward and Jed Steer was quickly off his line to collect and end the Chelsea attack. That didn't please Tuchel. The Chelsea head coach was momentarily livid and turned to his coaching staff to complain and vent. That became a familiar theme throughout the contest and culminated in Tuchel, with just minutes of the game remaining, ripping his cap off and throwing it onto the floor in frustration after a decision went against his side. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for up-to-date news from all around the globe. Thanks for watching. It was latest football news daily. Have a nice one, and see you in a bit.